everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now leaving work, and I'll tell you why. So, hope everyone's all right. Thanks for coming back. So we are in the little smart car Brabus, the little Fortwo Brabus convertible. What a cool little car this is. Man, have these cars come a long way since the first generation smarts. And I'll tell you why we're in it. You're coming along with me today on a normal working day, which is fairly normal when you're in the motor trade, rushing around trying to get a car ready to deliver to a customer. And I hate delivering. Anyone that watches this channel, you will know that I've got a bit of an issue with cleanliness on cars. And when I deliver cars, I hate delivering cars because they get dirty, it freaks me out, it turns up a little. I hate doing it. It's not raining today, so it's not the end of the world, but I have got my bucket and everything in the back just to do a little once over when we get to where we're going, in case the little smart gets a bit dirty. But as far as what's going on today, I thought I'd bring you guys and girls along with me. It's like I'd like it to be like a Dennis Collins coffee walk episode. I'd like it to be like that, minus the cool American accent, which I haven't got. And we're not going to look at, unfortunately, we're not going to look at sort of a 1970 Camaro that has done 2,000 miles from new and had one owner. We're not going to see anything like that. However, we are going to pick up a part exchange, and it's a cool little car as far as the part exchange goes. Cool little cars going out, cool little cars coming back in. So, I just left work, flapping a little bit, so I apologise. I think I've got everything. I've just got to nip home, get something from home, let Alfie out for a wee, and then we'll have another quick chat. Because the guy that has bought this car for his good lady is an interesting guy, and I'll tell you a little bit more about him when we come back. I'll see you in a minute. Hi, mate. Good boy. Good boy. You gotta go for a wee, mate. You gonna go for a wee? Good boy. Go on in. Go for a wee. No, that's not. Alfie, for God's, go for a wee, Alfie. I ain't giving you a trick. Go for a wee, little tinker. Go now. Go for a wee. God, he holds his wee so well, that little dog. That's better, isn't it? Yeah. Just had to let little Alfie out for a wee. He usually comes to work with us, but we had a lot on today, so he couldn't come. He holds his wee like a camel, that dog. But I like to let him out, let him have it. He's so stubborn. You see, he's so stubborn. He's like, no, I don't need a wee. I'm all right. I'm just going to go and sit back on the sofa where I was fine until you interrupted me. But I feel like he could do with a little wee, so we let him have a little wee. So we're now back. We've got to drive about an hour away to the customers where we're going. And that is to deliver this little smart car and pick up the part exchange. And the guy, I didn't know the guy. Claire has met this guy before when she worked at Mercedes through his interactions with Mercedes-Benz. He knows a lot about cars. He knows his cars very well. He's got quite a few cars now, and he's shown interest in the little Fortwo Brabus for his good lady to gas around in. But so, amongst other things, this guy actually had a very big influence on, by the sound of things, I don't know if I'm going to get this right, he might be able to describe it a little bit better, but he had a very big influence in the background constructing the design for the composite panels for the original little smart cars, which is mad because I thought they were designed and sort of fabricated and somewhere else, and I didn't really know a great deal about sort of the background of the original smart cars. I knew how to work on them, but I didn't really know a great deal about the design. And I just found that really interesting. You know, it's one of the best parts of my job. I love meeting new people. I like talking to people. Well, I just like talking in general. I mean, you know what I'm like. But I mean, it's an awesome part of my job. You know, this is my job. So we'll go for a gas. We'll pick up a car and come back, have a yarn, and come back. So that's sort of what today is going to be about. I thought I'd make a little video of it. Mark said he'd be quite happy to be on the video, and I mean, I won't get him to talk too long because obviously we don't want it to be too long. But that'll probably be my fault if we do. So we'll go there. It's not raining. Car's still clean. Good times, and we shall see you there in a mo after I've found his house. Wow, so here we are. Oh, it looks cool next to his truck. Here's a little Smart. I've just arrived. I'll show you what I'm bought. Do you know what? Absolutely. You know, you'll see that little bit of my journey here. Everything I could do to stop this car from getting dirty, and then a van comes the other way and does that. It's all right though. Got me chamois. There's no in it. It's all right. It's fine. It won't hurt it. Bought me a little bucket, so I knew it'd be all right. Bought some extra floor mats because I couldn't have that because I've mucked up the floor mat now. Look, messed that one up. That's got dirty. But I bought a few of them over there to put a new one when. So Mark gets his car and it's all clean. Right, hold on. It's like I'm talking to myself, isn't it? But this is what we've come to get. Put my little sign on the front. It's got his private plate on it. This is what we've come to get. We'll talk about that with Mark in a moment. Just let me clean that off the Smart. We'll look around the Mini in a bit. We're delivering this, but we've just Mark, we've got to go in here. Hello, this is Mark.
Hello, Kevin.
Mark's just said come in here because something else has got to disappear. You've got to come and see what's next to this car. Come on, Mark. Can I go in your garage?
Please, yeah, carry on.
Right. So this is a C43 AMG. Cool car. We'll get onto that in a sec. Sorry, Claire just phoned me. I had to cut off. So we will have a quick look at this in a moment. But this isn't, even though this is a lovely car, Mark, which it is a lovely car, this, I mean, what? Yeah, I just didn't expect to come in a garage with a C43 AMG sitting there and be next to what can only be described as a lumpy, matte Suzuki Jimny pickup.
And a fantastic beast at that.
It is a fantastic beast. I mean, it is. I know these have got a massive following, these cars, but I've never seen one with that conversion on it. So you bought it with the conversion on it?
So I bought it with the conversion, but
Right.
it was not orange and black at the time. It was just flat green. It was
Flat green. Flat, hasn't been polished in a few years green.
hasn't seen the light of day through the mud for a couple of years. Green.
Well, I really like the orange. It looks really good. I mean, black wheels are very much in now. It looks.
So this is hell rot orange wrapped of paint. It's got 4 coats of orange, 4 coats of black on the back. It's got obviously you can see it's got a remote control winch on the front of it, which I've used in anger, and I can guarantee it works brilliantly.
How funny!
I pulled a wooden building upright after the winds a couple of years ago with it. So, but it's got obviously got a light bar, 2-inch lift, and various new bits and pieces, and it's all hammerited underneath. So a tremendous amount of work and cost and expense.
So it's clean underneath?
It's very clean underneath. There's no rust on it at all, which is almost amazing for one of these for 20 years old or so.
Yeah, I'd agree. Wow, what a cool little car. Really, I bet it's worth a fortune still, isn't it?
Well, it's got to go, but I don't know quite what the market is for them at the moment. I know they were going for quite a bit of money, but I think it's a fairly limited market.
Well, it is, but I prefer the limited markets, because I think if there's one person out there that gets up and thinks, you know what, I feel like I need to buy an orange and black Suzuki Jimny pickup with a winch on the front and a light bar on the roof.
One thing I can say is that this will go places my Range Rover wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm sure it would.
Yes, and if you do get stuck, the winch is just brilliant. Remote control as well, so you can just stand there and winch yourself out. Let the car do the work.
Do you know what? I had someone comment on one of my videos from Australia saying people that want to go in the outback go in a Range Rover. People that want to come back go in a Hilux or a Land Cruiser.
Land Cruiser, yeah, absolutely.
Or one of these.
Yeah.
Because we know that this little Japanese typewriter in there is going to be as good as gold. And
yeah, very, very simple, but done a few things to it. I say put a new rad on it. After that age, it needed a bit of an upgrade, but generally, it's pretty much as it was coming off the production line in terms of the drivetrain.
I'll tell you what, this operation that you've had on your leg ain't half turning your inventory round.
Yes, it has. I mean, what was sitting in this very spot was a 488 Pista Spider, which I can't drive anymore, so that's departed.
I wish that was still here. Just so I could have felt it.
That one was. I bought it a couple of years old. It was commissioned by and spec'd by the Cardassian's fashion advisor. So it had the whole carbon kit on it and all sorts of stuff. Very, very nice spec car. But times change. You get older.
Well, how many cars have you actually had?
God.
That's enough said.
I've had everything from TVRs. I had 7 TVRs, but I'm too old for them now. I wait by the side of the road for too long, waiting for recovery. But Nobles, a Quivali, all sorts of odd things I've had. ACAs, real diverse bunch. A 340R Lotus.
You are a car man.
Unfortunately, it's in my blood.
And that is what we like to hear. Well, I'll tell you what, if anyone's looking at this thinking, do you know what, I need one of them in my life, give me a message. No idea what that's worth. But I know in reality, Suzuki Jimnys, even when they're poorly, are still worth good money, aren't they?
They've got a cult following. They really have. And they've still, a desirable vehicle, although they're quirky and odd. Yeah. But if you need to get over some land, there's nothing better. What
were the ones before that? The little SJ things? They were.
Yes, yeah.
There's a massive market for them, isn't they?
They are, but they rotted away and disappeared, literally. Yeah,
I'm sure they did. Right, Mark. Apologies about that. Sound has now changed because my camera's gone flat, so we're on another camera, and the microphone is only in here, so the sound won't be as. So if you don't mind. Just to say, because I said on the way here, when I was driving the little Smart that you're now getting, I was saying about your involvement in the first little Smarts, which I am obviously still really interested in because I'm sad and I loved them, and I was one of the first techs in the country on them. But you sort of had an involvement in what the production, shall we say, of the composite panels before they were produced?
They're not actually composite. They're just a polymer panel. But what most people don't know is that Smart was the design of Smart was started here in the UK.
Right.
And I was involved with the team that engineered the polymer body panels, and in those days it was a material called Valox which was used for the panels. Today it's polypropylene, which is very much like your any bumper really on any car is polypropylene.
Okay.
So they've actually gone down in quality in terms of the actual body panels themselves. The original panels that we worked on for when the program was a VW and SMH who used to make the watches and what have you before it was sold to Mercedes.
The Swatch watches?
Swatch watches and others and other brands
right.
to SMH. And we worked on the program here in the UK and in the engineering team we had in Switzerland working on it.
Wow.
And in those days the panels were either painted as they are today, or there were, I think from memory, and it's a long time ago so I'm scratching the grey cells, but I think there were 16 colours that were actually in mould colour. And they had a UV hard coat that was flow coated on over the surface to give them some protection, very much like the lenses on a headlight today. And if anybody's ever watched a wheeler dealer type program where Mike Brewer or someone like that repairs a headlight by buffing off the surface, they're taking off the thing that is actually protecting the lens. So what they do is it's exactly the same type of technology as was on those original smart car panels that weren't painted. But if you take the hard coat off, your polycarbonate lenses will go yellow very quickly. So although they look great on the program, 6 months later the new owner of that car is facing a huge bill because the lenses are beginning to go rotten in the sunlight. So don't repair your headlights like you see on TV.
We're gonna, I mean, for now, we'll come back to the C43 later, probably not in this video. But also, if anyone's looking for a C43 with, what sort of miles are we talking on with this?
31. With
31,000 mile, all the options that it possibly needs, then let us know in the channel as well. Let's go and have a quick look at the Mini. Right, I apologise everyone, because the sound out here is a bit windy. We'll do a quick bit on the Mini. You want to say anything about the Mini, Mark? You want to say what it is?
Other than it's great fun, and the later versions of it, they've actually tuned out some of the fun. It's certainly not as raucous, and they've taken off the pops and bangs and what have you. I've had a few minutes, quite a few minutes, and they're just great fun for country roads and zipping around. Don't drive to the south of France in one because you'll get out looking the same shape as it.
I get that completely. Well, it's a good looking little car. Only done 16,000 miles.
16,500 miles.
Yeah. And this is what, 231 brake horsepower? So that is a cool looking little car, isn't it?
It's got a wind deflector in the back of it. And
it has. You could do with a wind deflector for that little Smart.
Well, obviously with all the hair I've got on top of it.
So I'll tell you what, we'll have a quick look around this. I won't go around it too much. But I mean, this is going to be coming home with us, so you'll see me polishing it and that sort of stuff. But just a sort of an overview of today, that's what this has been about. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm so lost, Mark, honestly. I have no idea where I am. My phone's gone flat. It's possible that the nav on this little car might get me to where I need to go, but at the moment I might still be here in a couple of hours. You might have to come and rescue me in a Suzuki, Mark.
I will. I'll basically do an outrider type thing to get you out of the wilderness.
Okay, that's very kind. I'll check. Thanks for being on a channel, Mark.
No problem at all. No problem at all.
I will. Yeah. If anyone wants that little Suzuki, let me know. But we'll get on the way home in a mo.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thanks very much.
Cheerio. That's all right. No worries. Here we go. Well, off we go. I hope that camera's all right there. Looks like it's a bit high, but I can't see. But we're running on air. We're running on vapor, people. So I'm going to have to try and get back. It's all gone a bit wrong. My phone's gone flat. We've got no fuel. I'm sorry if the sound isn't very good. I'm not sure what the sound is going to be like. My camera's gone flat. Microphone's gone flat. Run out of fuel. I'm not doing very well. But we are in the John Cooper Works Mini Convertible, bright red. Done 16,000 miles from new. And this was the part exchange on the little Smart Fortwo, as you've seen. Thanks a lot to Mark. Interesting guy. And do you know what? I didn't realise this, but because of a situation which was unbeknown to him when he bought this car because he loved it. You know, like why we buy cars. He bought this car because he loved the red, he loved the black wheels, he loved the mileage, he loved everything about the car. And you know what? He hasn't been able to use it. He hasn't been able to use it at all, which is heartbreaking for him. But I mean, without going into it, he now needs automatic cars. Obviously the C43 is an automatic, the Jimny is not, hence why it's becoming available. This became available for the same reason. The little Smart Fortwo is an automatic. And he had to get rid of this because it's a manual. So that's why it has come about as to why we've now got this car and he's bought the Little Smart. Obviously the background to the Little Smart, you can tell why he wanted and looked into the Smart, because of the background that he's got with Smart. And that Little Smart was a cool little car, you know, even driving around these roads. I mean, like the middle of Botswana somewhere, I don't know where I am, but that'll be a cool little car, that Little Smart, running around on fresh air. You know, they run on vapour, them little cars. So that's a bit of an overview of why we are now in this little mini John Cooper Works. In a perfect world, would this car be better in a different colour? Yeah, it would probably sell better if it was black or if it was grey. But someone will want a bright red one with black wheels, you know. Black wheels are really in now. It's got the black leather that matches it. So yes, someone will want this car. But you know, it's interesting. It's not just your average Ford Focus or Mondeo, which I know are great cars, but you know, they're not, unless you're talking about an ST or an RS or something, they're not very interesting. Good cars, but not interesting. And I like doing different stuff. Claire likes doing different stuff. She's excited about this little mini. So let's get it back. We haven't got any more. We've got zero. Got the sat nav on. We've got zero fuel at the moment. It's not reading at all. So we'll find a petrol station. We'll put some fuel in it, and then we'll see how she goes. See you in a minute. Well, here we go. Sorry about that. Got some fuel. It's getting a bit dark now. I hope the lighting's all right. So we've got some petrol, and we're back in the little mini. Oh, that's a bit of a downside of little cars like this. When you go through a little pothole, it does feel like sort of dropped into Grand Canyon and then come back out of it again. It is a little bit like that, but that's the reason why someone buys a car like this. You know, it's you don't buy a car like this for the comfort of it without any shadow of a doubt. So yeah, so we've been driving. I mean, we've done 20 miles in the little mini now, and it is a cool little car. You know, for a car of this size, you can hear it popping and banging now. I don't know if you can hear that. We'll get somewhere in a minute where you can hear it a little bit better. Obviously, I'm not going to put the roof down because one, it's cloudy and I'll look like a right goon, won't I, if I put the roof down in the middle of winter. Red mini. So I'm not going to do that, but that's quite cool. When you sort of upshift, it gives you a little rev, like a slipper clutch, a little bit like on a bike. Let's see what it sounds like. It does sound cool. It's a cool sounding little car. It sort of reminds me of like when I had an Escort RS Turbo and Fiesta RS Turbo. You know, it's got quite a lot of power, over 230 horse factory through the front wheels, but it doesn't want to rip the steering wheel out of your hands. It doesn't torque steer like what they did when I was younger. I loved them torque steering, but I tell you what, you don't have two gearboxes, and they just, you know, it's all very planted now. It doesn't really spin a great deal. It just goes. You hear the boost. It does sound cool. When we get back to work, I've got to give it a little rev because you can sort of hear. I mean, we used to call the noise wastegate chatter. That's not what it is at all. That's when the turbo stalls. You rev it up and the turbo stalls, and the wind goes back through the intake system. And it goes. It sounds cool. I know I'm a child, but it does sound cool. So, but as for now, we'll say thanks to Mark for coming on the channel. Not a lot of people are happy to come on the channel. Everyone gets embarrassed. No one ever wants to come on here. I said would Mark mind just saying hello, and you know, it is really good of him. So it's just nice, isn't it? You get to meet loads of different people. So I know it's a childish thing, but that little popping and banging, I mean, it's not quite as on these little John Cooper Works. It's not quite as bad and as in your face as like on an A45 or an A34. They're quite loud, you know, and certain people might find that a bit intimidating when they're driving, even though if you buy a car like that, you clearly do it because you're a car person. But I mean, these are quite subtle really. They're still fast enough to put a smile on your well, here we are. We're back in one piece. The little Mini's back. Yeah, it's a little bit dirty here and there. We've got to give it a clean, but we'll get that sorted out. It's quite a cool little car. I mean, it's got a nice spec on it. It's got a head-up display, which is always quite cool, isn't it? Something. There's a lot of people going home. Look, it's got head-up display, which is quite cool. I mean, it's fully loaded as far as, you know, it's got the sport suspension option on it. It's got the Harman Kardon. I mean, I'm not entirely sure they come any better spec than this. It's a shame. Is it a shame? I mean, to me it's a little bit of a shame that they've had the diamond cut on the wheels black, because I like the diamond cut mix on these black wheels. But I mean, because of the black roof and the black trim and stuff, it still looks quite cool with the black and black. But hey, we'll get it in the workshop and we'll have a quick look. So yeah, there it is. I mean, it hasn't got a massive amount of preparation to do on it. The paintwork's a little bit flat now, I mean, because he hasn't used it for the best part of the year. So I have got a few little bits to do, which is good. Don't want it to be too good. I mean, if I don't have anything to do on it, then I'll be bored, wouldn't I? But it's quite a cool little car. So we're quite happy with that. That was a good little afternoon out. So I'll tell you what, Mark, if you watch this, I hope you enjoy that little Smart, you and your good lady. I can see you bombing around them little roads in that little Smart car. Cool little car as well. But for now, what one's coming next? Might be the 5 Series, might be the F10 5 Series. What might be the F10 5 Series coming next? I'm not sure. But for now, I'll just say thanks for watching this, everyone. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notifications button, give us a thumbs up if you like what's going on. It was just a bit of a day in the life of a motor trader, this one. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks a lot, have a good weekend, I'll speak to you later. Bye bye bye.